Hi there, Plant Girl here. So I wanted to get a few more seeds planted before it's too late and they don't turn into any flowers for me this year. So I just went through my seeds real quick to see what I thought I could still get away with planting. It's June 14th today, so I have a 110-day growing season and I'm about a third of the way, I'd say, into it now. So I need to be kind of careful about what I'm putting in the ground and how much time I have to grow it. Now we also have a bit of a storm blowing in here, so I want to get this done. They'll get watered hopefully by the storm and just get this started before the weather gets nasty. So a good spot to start would be in my garden. I always like to have flowers in my garden, but I've packed most of my vegetable beds really full this year, so I don't think I really have a lot of space for these plants in my actual vegetable beds. So what I've decided is this is an apple tree here, and so I'm going to just kind of scratch up the dirt around underneath it a little bit, and I'm going to put some calendula down here. I have 3 kinds of calendula. One of them's empty. I have 2 kinds of calendula. I have Candyman orange, which is 10 to 12 inches high, so about 30, just under 30 centimeters. And then I have Victoria's Sunset, which is 18 to 24 inches high, which would be about, 45 to 60 centimeters. So I think if I put the Victoria's Sunset kind of along the back, and then the Candyman orange in front, that would look really nice and just give that pop of color. Some other things that I have to plant today that I'm going to look for some space for is some Xanthos Cosmos and some Roomba Nasturtiums. So I think the Cosmos, I think there's some in here. Yeah, I think I'll try and get those into my new flower bed area that I've built. I tried to start some from seed inside earlier this year, but they just did not take well. So I only have a couple out there right now. I'd like to have more for cut flowers. And then the Nasturtium, I might put in my large pots where I have my melons. So we'll have a look at that and see if that would work. But let's get the calendula started so we can get a start to this before we have a storm move in on us. So I'm just going to kind of scratch up the soil here. I don't often plant in this area, so it's not maybe prime planting space. I may need to get a little bit of topsoil just to put some looser soil on top. This is pretty heavy here. This is just my native soil and it's very hard clay. So just pull back the mulch and I'll just put a little bit of this triple mix down. It won't look like the tree because I'm not going to put a huge amount, so it won't go up the trunk too much. You know, it's not going to hurt where the tree is planted. And then hopefully the flowers can work their roots down because this is really tough soil. I didn't realize that, but we'll find out. So it says about every 8 inches. So I'm just going to make some little divots. Then I'll do a couple more for the Candyman orange. So these are 2 varieties that are new to me this year. And I have them planted in a few pots, but we'll see how they do. So I just put a few in each hole. Apparently threw one over there. So the Victoria's Sunset says it's an intense burnt orange bloom that's a double bloom, and it has long stems, so it should be good for cutting maybe too. And then the Candyman orange is also orange, obviously, and a double flower, but it's a little bit shorter. So this one's multi-branched, so I don't think the other one was multi-branched. So it'll be similar, but not the same. now that I have the calendula planted, let's go over and see if I can get a little bit of nasturtiums planted into my pots with my melons. Okay, so this is the area where my melons are planted. I have 3 pots down each side, and you can see it's kind of shady down in some of the areas as the sun moves around. It's right around noon right now. We get a little bit of shade in here. I do actually have an arch trellis that's going to go in this space. I just haven't got it set up yet, and that should bring the plants up into the sunshine more. I think that's my plan. But I have some ranunculus. You can just barely see a little bit down there, and some gladiolus. You may remember I planted those before my average last frost. They're doing really well. And then there's 1 variety of melon in each pot. So I'm hoping I get a little bit of nasturtiums. I think just in these front 2 pots, just spilling out the front, will probably be the only place they'll really do well. So in that pot and in that pot. But I think that'll look nice as the ranunculus kind of finish up. I'll have the nasturtiums hopefully coming in there, and the gladiolus, of course. And it looks like I have my first ranunculus bud just coming in there. Keep in mind, I'm in a cold climate, Saskatchewan, Canada. Yeah, that's my first bloom just getting started there. How exciting. Okay, so the nasturtium I'm going to put in here is rumba, or rumba, I guess. I'm not sure. So these are about 10 to 12 inches tall. And what does it say for spacing? Does it give me a spacing? Yeah, about 8 to 12 inches apart. So yeah, I'll probably put, I have my, what melon do I have here? I have Tip Top melon right here. So I'll probably just put maybe even just 2 nasturtium plants in here, like maybe 1 here, 1 here. Maybe I could fit another one just in behind these glads here. And that should probably give me like lots. That's spaced a little bit closer than they actually need to be. But that should give me lots of plant in there. So they go about 1/2 inch deep, so I've just kind of squished a little spot. Maybe I'll put one a little closer to the ranunculus because it'll be done soon. And then there's the seeds. Kind of like a pea seed, but a little, I don't know, wrinklier and smaller. I'll put 2 in each hole there. 1 more. Oh. And 2 there. So cover those up. And they just need to stay moist. These, I believe, are oranges and reds and things. Yeah, it says red and peach hues, set off by attractive green foliage. So just as a side note, both the nasturtium and the calendula are edible, so they can be added to salads and things. The calendula can actually be used for salves and different herbal kind of remedies as well. So great plants to have in your yard. So I'll take these over and just get a couple more plants popped in the other front pot like this, and hopefully I'll get a nice full, the nasturtium will come out and really just kind of hang over the edge, drape over the edge, and really fill it up. Sometimes I find in the heat of the summer, they'll kind of die back again on me when it gets really, really hot here. But once it cools down the fall again, they seem to burst back into life, and it's really nice to have that at that point. So I'll have the ranunculus blooming here pretty soon, and then the glads should be starting to bloom. These nasturtium will come in. Hopefully they'll get a few blooms in before they die back and kind of wither a little in the summer heat. But then as the glads are finishing up, the ranunculus will be done, and the nasturtium should come right back into their full glory here. Now, because I'm planting them late, there's a chance I might will get them really going late in the summer into early fall, but that's okay. They'll still just keep the show going here, so I'm all right with that. Let's get that other pot done. So this pot is my Minnesota midget melons here. And you might have noticed in both pots that the front melon is a little bit larger than the one in the back, and that's because I had a hot cap over one planting in each of the pots, and one was exposed with just some frost blanket over it. So you can see the difference in how they grow. I've just 2 days ago took the cover off of these because they were getting too full and a lot of humidity in there, and I was just concerned that I might wind up with some mildew issues and things if I left the hot caps on any longer. But you can really see the difference in what that did to help these plants get going. Okay, so I'm gonna try one over here, one back here, and one over here. The ranunculus in this pot you probably can't see. It's a little further back behind the glads, but there is one in here as well. So again, I'm just going to put 2 seeds, covered about 1/2 inch down in 3 spots. And hopefully I get a nice show out of those. Let's see if I can find somewhere to fit those cosmos in that new flower bed. I've been doing quite a bit of work on this flower bed, and you see a few plants still waiting. I see a little bit more flyers to finish up that corner there. And otherwise I pretty much have everything planted. I have some liatris up over here. Plan to do that in a video for you later on, hopefully. And otherwise, lots planted in here. It's a pretty busy space, but I'm hoping to get lots of cut flowers and just lots of pretty out of this. So, Gomphrena starting to bloom there. Over right here, hopefully you can see I have 3 cosmos plants right now. And there's a pasque flower that's just going to seed, an aster, some hostas. So I think I'll try and fit, there's a few poppies planted in around the hosta there. But I think I might try and fit, there's asters in behind here, try and fit a few more cosmos in where that kind of ground cover of thyme is, and then kind of bring them around and across, and maybe by this rhododendron, and there's some zinnias up here, and this is muscari, this grassy stuff here, so that'll be dying back right away, so I'll try and put a few cosmos in there as well. So I think that'll work. So like I said before, these are xanthos cosmos. They get around 60 centimeters or 2 feet tall. So I'm going to try and squeeze a little bit right in here by this ground cover, because they get quite large. So I don't want to get too close to these. I think these are candy stripe, the ones that I already have in. And these xanthos are from, this is seed from that I collected. So we'll see how well it does. So I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle a few seeds in and kind of scratch them in, and we'll see how they do there. This is a rhododendron right here, and it's just finished blooming. And then there's some zinnias. I can't remember what variety. I think California giant, double giant, but I'm not sure. Like I said, this is muscari, so I'm just waiting for it to yellow, and then I'll pull the leaves out once they've fed the bulbs again. And I have a petunia in here, and there's a hosta kind of underneath me here. So I think I have room to put a couple of these cosmos in here, because cosmos, I'd like to get a few more going just because they're so nice for filler in bouquets. So I'm just going to try and sprinkle a few. Like I said, this is safe seed, so I'm not sure how perfectly viable it is. Try and scratch down to some soil here if I can. Should have brought my fork with me. Again, you get into that native soil here and it's just like clay. I'm not sure there was actually seeds. That might have just been all chaff. I'm not sure I'm going to get anything. It looked like I was mostly down to chaff with those cosmos, so I guess we'll see if I get anything out of those. It didn't look like a lot of actual seeds left, and I was kind of sprinkling them out there. The calendula and nasturtiums were both purchased seeds, so there's definitely seed, or so I should get something out of those. I won't expect to see really any flowers till late summer, and into the early autumn area here for us. So, you know, into the mid to end of August for sure, I'd say, before I'm seeing too much, would be my guess with any of these, just because I am planting them late. But, you know, sometimes because it's just that much warmer out, things sometimes they'll just pop up and just get going really fast. So it'll be interesting to see. I've never planted, I don't think I've ever planted seeds for flowers this late in the year. So it'll be fun to see what happens with them. Thanks for coming along with me to do a little bit of seed starting, and we'll see you next time. Bye.